Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my monthly check-in video, and this is a video that I enjoy doing because I get to reflect on last month, not just in wax, but kind of what I did, how is life going, and check in with you all as well. So in this video, I will go over my wax numbers, how I'm doing with my intentional buying, because I want to get to a goal of about 400 to 500 pieces of wax, and I'm still not there, but that's okay. It's slow and steady. And as with things that you continually do and mindset changes, it gets easier and easier to do. So I'll talk about that, and I will stamp all of this if you want to jump around to different pieces. But I also want to give you an update on kind of my health and wellness journey that I've been talking about. I talked about intermittent fasting last month, and I'll give you an update on my thoughts on that and how things are going. And then because I'm not shopping or spending as much on wax, somehow let me know if I'm not alone here. But when you're like being good about not spending money over here, I tend to spend money over here. So I will share some things that I've purchased and some favorites of mine. I will end with like my favorite, which I do like to end this video with. And it's a surprise, maybe for you, definitely for me, that I'm actually calling this a favorite, but it is. And then I also want to chat about a new thing that I'm going to add to my channel. So I mentioned it in my Facebook group a couple days ago, but I will mention it here while we're still early in the month, and we'll talk about some changes with that. And I'm excited about that as well. So let me see. I think I hit all the things I'm going to talk about. So stick around. It's numbers time. So spoiler alert, I had a no-buy month, not intentional. I was originally thinking I was going to buy from Second & Spruce, but as I looked at the pre-list or the pre-order and made my list, there was about 5 cents that sounded interesting, but I'm thinking back to my goals, I'm really not out to buy new scents. I want to repurchase loves of mine that I don't have or I'm running low on. And then in that order, in that pre-order, I can buy a couple of new scents to try, right? But if they're all going to be kind of new scents, then I shouldn't be buying that pre-order. So that's kind of how I felt about Second & Spruce. And then Salt Mountain Melts, I think it was really the same thing. I don't know. I am less tempted to bring in wax because as I do my melting baskets and I shop my stash, I see like I still have plenty of wax, and ultimately I want to use things fairly soon after purchasing and not letting things sit around for months. I don't know if it was a comment on my video or I was watching someone's video, I can't remember, but this stuck in my head about everything, not just wax, but mostly about Amazon purchases and other things that aren't wax. It was like, for everything you buy, you need to know where you're going to put it, or everything that comes in your house has to go somewhere. And I do have space in some drawers, in some vendor drawers. I've definitely decided if I don't have room in the drawer, I'm not buying it. But the same thing with other things that I buy, and it's kind of helping me. Like if I don't have space for it, or I don't have a home already identified before that item comes in, then I shouldn't buy it, or something needs to go to make room for that thing, right? And that's been eye-opening for me, even though it seems so like, duh. But a lot of times, from Amazon, I'll just use Amazon. We're not talking wax numbers here, but Amazon, I would buy things and then figure out where I'm going to put it. But if I have to figure out where I'm going to put it first, I'm like, it just gives me pause. And so that's something that has stuck with me, even with wax. But wax, they're smaller things, right? But they add up. So let's go with my numbers here. So starting numbers 806, current number 725. I used 46 units in March, and but even though it looks like it's a little less than February, and February is a shorter month, because I'm tracking ounces, I can see that I actually used not quite, but almost 30 ounces more in March, which totally makes sense because in March I was using larger units, right? I was melting Teddy Bees, which were in tubs, Sassy Girl Aroma, which were brittles, and Rose Girls, right? And both of those, or all three of those, are like multi-use bags and units versus what I was warming in February. I'm also tracking dollars. So dollars is, it was a no buy, so I get to put a nice 0 here. And my rolling total or my running total is 206 for the year. Now this piece here is something I don't know if I showed last month, but I have 30, I've counted, there's 31 vendors that I have. I do want to bring this number to like maybe my top 5 or 15. Definitely don't need 30 vendors. So I can see quickly here that I could probably use up these, although it's a fall scent, so not in the mood to warm that one. But I did add like waxy taffy in my April basket, because then that's one I can use up. Swanky, this is a peach loaf that I got as friend mail from April. So peach I'm gonna save for summertime, but I can kind of quickly see which ones I can use up pretty quickly. These are summer scents too. But what I wanted to show here is it tells me how much my starting total was for that vendor and then what my current total is. It's not capturing how much I used up in total, but from like where I started the year to where I am currently. And I've used up Britta's, but what I wanted to point out here is like if I go to, for example, let's just say Salt Mountain Melts. Let's say I was kind of tempted to buy Salt Mountain Melts. I kind of feel like my cap should only be 4 because I don't really want to go more than where I started when I still have so much wax. In the future, yes, I can. Let me go down to like the Candle Nurse. I have 5 more than where I started the year. But Candle Nurse, I mean, I really had 12 units or, 40 ounces of wax. It's actually quite a small number, and it is one of my favorite vendors. But I want to be in the green before I make another order from the Candle Nurse. And again, as my wax gets lower and lower, I can change that little guideline that I have in my head. But for now, I feel like, okay, I haven't used the 5 extra that I have from January. Why am I going to add more to it and then be in the red even more, if that makes sense, or kind of be in the hole even more? So this is also just a nice way to show me, like, if I want to buy more, let's use up, what I've purchased this year. I did put the Candle Nurse in my April basket. So by the end of this month, that number will be in the green, but I just wanted to, it's just something to keep that, something for me to keep an eye on. For example, with Scentsy, I've used 23 units from net. So this is basically net. So from where I started. And so I can buy 23 and still be below my starting total. I hope that makes sense, but that's just my spreadsheet. I have it in units and in ounces. I haven't added up all my ounces like L3. And then I have some zeros. So for me, it's like, well, maybe that should be wax that I focus on next month so that eventually all of this will be in the green. So this is just a recap of my month in numbers. And now let's get on to the rest of the video. Okay, so that was my wax numbers. That was a snapshot or a recording that I did a little earlier, so I wouldn't mess up my totals there as I went through my wax numbers. I mean, ultimately, my goal is to get somewhere around 400 to 500. I think that would be a pretty good number to get to, and I feel like I'm getting there. I definitely see I'm motivated. Although, since I recorded that and today, I have a little list for Rose Girls. I have a list from her pre-order, and honestly, I am so excited because I was on a no buy because I had so much, and now I found that I have, definitely space in the drawer, so I have a place for it. And my pre-order, at least the list I've made, is like five things. I think that's it. So well within, my guidelines and my goals for this year. And I'm excited because I haven't had a Rose Girls haul in forever. So I'm excited about that. And she's pretty quick, even with her pre-order. So we'll see how that goes. But let me know how you're doing. Are you kind of in this with me as far as trying to bring it down? And do you have some kind of strategy on, how you're working through your wax? I'd love to know. Okay, so let's get into kind of health and wellness and My update. So last month I mentioned that I'd started intermittent fasting. So when I say last month, I mean last month's video. So back in end of February, I started intermittent fasting. I've kept it up all month long. For the most part, I think there was only maybe 2 days where I missed it, just because of a late night dinner, and other things that were kind of out of my control. But for the most part, I've stuck with it. I am a little frustrated, but I have to remind myself that this is not why I started intermittent fasting. I am a little frustrated that 0 pounds have changed. There's been no visible, at least that I can see, any visible physical changes besides more how I feel. And I mentioned this last month as well. I do feel less tired. I do feel like I'm making better choices in food. But yeah, there's been zero. There's been 0 weight loss change. I have, and I wasn't sure what to expect. Some people have said all they've done is intermittent fasting and nothing changed. They didn't change anything else, and they see the weight come off. Others, I'm sure, are like me, who are in their 50s or maybe kind of around my age, where we're getting into that menopause and like nothing. Nothing. Like whatever you do, like it's just nothing's happening as far as trying to lose weight. But I have to remind myself that this wasn't about losing a few, like 10 pesky pounds that I put on since COVID. It's been more about feeling better, having more energy, and all of that. And for that, I can say that is true. I felt better. And intermittent fasting isn't really hard for me. I mean, and I'm not doing 20 hours or 24. I'm not doing that. I'm doing about 15 hours, 16 hours, sometimes 17 hours. It's between 14 and 16 hours. That's what I'm doing. So I'll stop eating around 6:30, 7:30, and then, I'll start up again like 10:30. So that's been going well as long as I'm not at work. It's a little harder when I go into the office because of some really bad habits that I made, in the office. And one of the bad habits is, I go into work and straight ahead is the coffee bar. And I would, every day when I would go in the office, I'd go into work, badge in, go straight to the coffee bar and order like a latte or a cappuccino or something. And then a muffin, like a blueberry muffin or orange cranberry or whatever they had. It was a carb, definitely a carb, even though I could buy Greek yogurt or something else, but it was coffee and a muffin. And so when I go into work and I see that coffee bar, it is a trigger for me, but I've been really good except for one day. One day I was like, I'm just hungry. I just need to eat something. It was definitely more than 15 hours, fasting at that point. So yeah, I did have, I'm like, it's one day this month that I'm going to allow myself this goody muffin and vanilla latte. But most of the time now I see it and then I hang a left and go straight to the elevators because I don't want to be tempted by an old habit. When I'm at home, it's not a big deal. I'm usually busy, work starts, I'm in meetings and I really don't think about it until like 10:30, 11. Then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of hungry. Although today it was the first time where I felt kind of lightheaded. So I did eat like a little, those fig bars just to get a little sugar in me. And which is unusual because I didn't really do anything different, but listening to my body, first and foremost, listening to my body. And I'm not pushing myself to do things that are bad. But yeah, I do still have some triggers when I go into the office and that's made it hard. But otherwise I feel better. Like I do feel like I have more energy and I have been walking outside when I can. Although March has been tough. It's really been, and you're probably seeing the light changing in here. It's one of those days where it will rain and then the sun comes out, and then it rains and then the sun comes out. And yesterday and the day before were like that, where all of a sudden buckets. I mean, normally here in California, we get showers. They're not like buckets of rain, but this was like buckets that came down. I've seen hail. I've seen like is it like, not quite hail, but just thick droplets of rain. It's been all over the place. So how's the weather where you are? I know in my April melting basket, I asked that question, and there was such a wide variety of answers, from it's snowing to it's hot to rain. And yeah, I think we're just in that, in that bit. So I've been, trying to be better when I can't go walk outside because of the weather. And this is just in the past 3 days. So this is brand new. I'll give you an update next month. But I've been, instead of fast forwarding through commercials and just sitting on the couch like I normally do, walking indoors, just trying to walk indoors, move during that commercial break, go up and down the stairs. I mean, nothing crazy, but just when I think about it, walking. And then at least for 10 minutes doing some quick movement and exercise. 10 minutes is nothing. It's really nothing. And this is all about building baby steps, very baby steps. I don't want to try to change everything that I do all at once, because then I'll set myself up for failure. But I feel like every month is a building block on something new I'm adding. And so that has been kind of how I'm feeling about my health and wellness. I will say that I also, listening to one of my book podcasts that I like to listen to, one of the hosts mentioned a website called Brock Your Body, like broccoli, but Brock Your Body. And on there, she's got Trader Joe recipes and other recipes. I kind of went in there. What kind of hooked me was Trader Joe recipes. I haven't tried any yet, but she looks like she's got some good ones. And the reason I'm interested in Trader Joe recipes is because I love Trader Joe's. My daughter works at one now, and so we get they have a lot of fun like ingredients that are different that you don't find in some grocery stores. But a lot of times I'm like, but this sounds good. Like, what am I supposed to make with it? Or what do I do with this? And so if you know of any other blogs, recipe websites, things like that specialize in or have a good amount of Trader Joe's recipes, I would love, please link that below, because I'm interested in trying some of her dinners, because in fact, the other day I just threw it out. It was a hot sauce honey or sriracha honey, something like that, from Trader Joe's. And it was all hard and stuff. I'm like, I think I used this once, or the onion crunch. They have an onion crunch. I think I bought that, maybe used it twice, but it's like, I'm not going to keep, but it was only for like that one meal. But I want to be able to find different recipes to use some of the fun stuff that they offer. Like I use the everything but bagel on my avocado toast. I could probably use it on other things, right? I'm just not that creative. So if you know of any websites like that, please link them below. I would love to know. So that is a little update on my health and wellness. All right. So I've been trying to enjoying, not use up. Terrible. I've been enjoying flannel boots and bonfire from Scandalous Cosmetics, and this is truly enjoying this. I started using this in November, I want to say. So here we have how we're tracking. I wasn't intentionally trying to use it this month, but I actually did a really good job. Let's see if I can see here. So that was last month, and this is where I am now at the beginning of April. So I use this quite a bit, actually more than I thought. Definitely more than halfway. And that was on the body milk. In the body oil, I am down here, and I think I was like up, probably see it better than I can, up here. So I've used a lot of the body oil. And then in the body mist, this feels nice and light. I'm down here. So if you look at the bottom, and then I was up here. So I use this a lot more than I thought. This for me is a nice, just a nice scent for right now, where it's still a little cooler. It's nicer, and I really do, it's nicer. It's cooler, but it's not warm yet. And this isn't like a heavy scent. Whereas Bad Santa, I didn't use as much, and I find this to be a little more for colder weather. It's because it's got like heavier, denser notes like tobacco and like cherry tobacco. And I'm trying to think of what else is in here. Vanilla, cherry tobacco. It's like Tom Ford's Lost Cherry and something else. Baccarat Rouge, I can't remember, but it's kind of a little denser. And so this one I didn't use as much, but just a tiny bit. So that is the mist, kind of went there. And then body milk, same thing, just a little bit from here to here. And body oil, so from there to there. So I have about half of the body oil, and I think I will probably, you know, if I have those like cold days where I'm in the mood to wear the scent, you know, I will, but it's not going to be like a focus going forward. Actually, what I want to focus on going forward is a little different, slightly different. I want to focus on perfumes, because I'd mentioned when I was doing some of my perfume haul, there wasn't a haul, but sharing my perfume collection, I was, you know, I went through kind of re-sniffing everything and going, gosh, I miss wearing perfumes, because I've been layering mostly like body care stuff and not actually perfumes. So this month in April, I want to get back to using some perfumes. And I was thinking, what are some spring perfumes that I like? And one of them is Donna Born in Roma. If I remember correctly, this has like a lot of jasmine to it. So it's like a floral jasmine. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, so this has notes of like woody notes, vanilla, fruity, soft, spicy, white floral, powdery, floral, musky, green, and citrus. But specifically, it's black currant, pink pepper, bergamot, jasmine, sambac, and jasmine tea. So I do remember this had a lot of jasmine in it, and base notes of bourbon, vanilla, cashmere, and guaiac wood. So it is a scent that I do like. And when I think of springtime, I think of this scent. So this is something that I want to use a little more of. I'm not going to be like I did with the body stuff, but I'll just give you an update on, did I reach for this? Was I using my fragrances? And I think I'm still in a vanilla mood as well. So I have Kayali's Vanilla 28. So I'll be using this, and look at that. That is dark juice. Vanilla does get a little darker. And then the Utopia Vanilla Cocoa, which I like very well. So these are those little mini Kayali vanilla bottles, and I want to, you know, spend some time with that. And then I have Fresh Cream. This is Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere from Philosophy. And this is a little bottle as well. That's kind of this vanilla creamy scent. And then I will use this from Scandalous Cosmetics, which is Exotic Vanilla. This is the body butter. And so I've already started using this. And I already am about, maybe I've used about a third of it. It's a really nice soft cream. I did show this last month. So that'll be kind of my base for when I'm putting on some of these vanilla scents that have vanilla in it. And Donna Born in Roma has some vanilla, but that for me is just, I'll probably wear just like regular moisturizer under that, and then wear that perfume. So that is something that I've been wanting to use as well. I will see, this is a maybe, but I've had this Frenchie from, it's at Target, and gosh, what's her name? It's a celebrity. I can't remember her name. Lauren, I can't remember. Is it Conrad? Anyway, this is the is it vanilla? Cashmere vanilla scent. I've had this for a couple years now. So part of me is like, let's maybe reach for this. So I'm kind of into this vanilla stage, yet floral as well. So, but it's so old now that this is the Soothing Body Serum Stick with magnesium and squalene. And it feels like it's shrunken, right? This does feel good though when it goes on, but it felt better when I bought it. So I do want to use more of this. And so we'll see. So I'll give you an update on how I do with my fragrances and that. All right, this isn't favorites yet. These are just things that I've bought recently, because when I'm not spending money on wax, you know, since I had a no-buy, I have a tendency on purchasing other things. I don't know if it's boredom. What is it? I mean, I know I'm not alone, but what is it when you're like, let me buy stuff over here. So I did do some purchases here that I wanted to try. So I'm going to start off with Rhode skincare. So it's Hailey Bieber is the celebrity, but I've heard really good things from, and she's a very popular dermatologist on YouTube. Is it Dr. Dre? Is that the name? Anyway, she's done videos of Rhode skincare, and other people have. This came on my radar from watching a booktuber talk about they had gotten some Rhode skincare for Christmas and they loved it. And so that was like, I've heard of Rhode. Should I try Rhode? So anyway, sometimes I just like to shop. So I got like the 3-step system, I guess. So this is the glazing fluid. Then this is the glazing milk. And then this is like the barrier cream here. So I believe that you put the milk on first, and then the glazing fluid, and then the barrier cream as your moisturizer. I've only used it once so far, but I like it. And supposedly it's got really good ingredients in it. And so I'll keep using it, and I don't know, see what I think. But I always like trying, even though I have tons of skincare. I think I said this in last month's video, like, I don't need to be buying more skincare. And here I go. But this is what I do when I'm really tempted to buy something. If I cannot get it out of my mind, if days go by, weeks go by, and I've been good about not purchasing something and I'm still thinking about it, then usually that's when I say, okay, you can buy it. Let me know if you do that too, because I'll even do the whole pretend shopping where you put it in the cart and then you walk away. And a lot of times I'll forget, and that'll be enough. That'll just, that window shopping, right? That is enough, and I'll forget about it. And then you'll get like a coupon in the email, right? Like, oh, we noticed you were looking at something, and we're like, oh, sweet, I got a coupon. But if it's something that I've been thinking about this since January of wanting to try this, so here I am. I decided I can buy some skincare and see what I think. The other one that I've actually has come up in my mind, I've been tempted in the past, is from Naturium. Let me know if you purchase anything from Naturium. I got this from their website, but I know they've had it from Target from a long time. So these are these little lip peptide Vito Glow lip balm. I'm actually wearing this color today, although I kind of probably used what's the word? It wore off, but they're not this color, right? Necessarily, because it's so sheer. But that's what I have on my lips, is this red color. It just gives you a tint. And what I have liked about these so far, again, only tried these like 3 times. I'm not saying it's a favorite. It's just something new for me to test out, is I do like that it does feel like it's on my lips and it's not that tacky, you know, when someone's wearing very tacky, like gloss, that sometimes you get those threads, those strings, from your upper lip to your bottom lip. This just feels like it's just a barrier there. So far I'm like, okay, it's doing that. My lips aren't chapped or anything like that. And as I get older, you have more lines on your lips. And so, yeah, I kind of liked it. And then while I was there, I decided I'd get a body wash because I'm kind of out. The only body washes I have right now are very tropical, very summer scents, like pineapple, island, something. So I got this one while I was buying these lip balms. This is the Multivitamin Daily Nutrients Body Wash. It gently cleanses with added vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And so what is nice about this one is, 1, it's a nice big bottle. 2, it lathers really well. And 3, it doesn't have a strong scent. This is supposed to have some kind of scent, but honestly, it was very light on scent. So I think finding products that aren't heavily scented could be hard for people. There is a scent. It's not like there's no scent at all, but it's very lightly scented. And I thought I would mention that. So I've only used this twice. So don't know yet what I'm going to think longer term, but that was something that I purchased this month. And then what came this month, and I'm not going to go over it because there's already a video out there from my dear friend Chris. So Chris from, and I was going to look it up before I mentioned this video. Is it Books, Wax and Whimsy, or Wax, Books and Whimsy? Something like that. Chris, I will link her video, but she did a unboxing of the Archer and Olive subscription box. It's a quarterly box. She gets it. I get it. I think Steph from Steph Loves Life, and I think April Lee. I think all four of us get this box, but Chris did a haul on this, and I will link that video below. But in there is some beautiful notebooks, which I will share one of them. Some notebooks, some pens, some gel markers, but I will link her video up here so you can see. She actually shows you everything that's in the box, but they are beautiful boxes. So that came. And of course, my car. So I am so happy with my car. And I think it could help me slightly with my, what's the word? My stubbornness or whatever of averse. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm averse to going to the grocery store, and I just, so then that's where my healthy food choices diminish, because I'm like, okay, I don't have any veggies, I don't have this, I don't have that, and I don't want to go to the grocery store. But now with my new car, I want to drive it everywhere. I want to go everywhere. You need me to go to the store? I'll go to the store. You need me to go get gas? I will go get gas. It's just, or whatever. You need me to take you to the airport? Sure. Let me drive you to the airport. And so I'm just very happy and in love with my Hyundai Tucson. It does things that I'm like, wow, something. It could be scary depending on how you look at it, but it verifies it's me with my fingerprint. It's got all my settings, CarPlay and maps, and yes, other cars have that, but this one will back out of your parking lot if those parking spots are really narrow. And we've all been there, right? Where you really kind of can't get in there and you're like, this jerk parked so close. It'll back out for you so you can get in. I mean, it's just, I'm in love with my car. So that is probably the biggest purchase this month that I did, was my car. And I'm so excited about it. So, okay. So let me talk about the last thing. Let's go, and I'm going to show you, I think, my favorite of the month. Let's get into my favorite of the month. And I say it's tough to call it a favorite because I'm just getting into it, but I went down a rabbit hole. With teas because I'm doing intermittent fasting, and I don't like my coffee black. I like it with cream and sugar. I'm like, there are nights where I want something warm to drink that isn't filled with sugar and milk and, not hot chocolate, things like that. And then I was a little sick, right? And when I'm sick, I don't mind, I'll drink tea, but it's more like medicine, right? Like drinking down medicine. So I went down a rabbit hole on teas, and I've never been a tea person. For me, I've always found it to be kind of bitter tasting, or it just tastes like rag water or something, either really watered down or bitter, or just not a fan of teas. But I've always wanted to like teas. There's so many people who love teas that I'm like, maybe I'm not buying the right ones, or maybe I just don't know what I'm doing, or maybe I'm just not a tea person, right? So long story short, I went down a rabbit hole, and I was looking into teas and what I could drink in the evening that would give me that kind of drinking something warm and cozy that wouldn't break my fast. And so I started digging down there, and I have some tea bags that I bought at Christmas time because, again, I want to be a tea lover. And the only tea that I've bought in a bag that I liked was a dessert tea from Tazo's. It's lemon pound cake. I'm like, this is actually not bad. So I feel like I like fruity teas. Long story short, did some digging and found the difference between loose leaf teas and the bag teas. And it sounded like everyone was saying, go loose leaf. It's so much better. The bag teas are kind of like the dust and remnants of what you would find in loose leaf tea. And I was like, okay, maybe it's that. Maybe I'll like loose leaf tea better. Long story short, I found some places where there's several places online that I was recommended, but for whatever reason, I'm like, Adagio Teas sounds like a pretty good place to start. And the selling point for me was you can buy samples. I'm like, I don't really know anything about tea. I think I like fruity tea scents or that kind of tea. I've never tried mate. I've never tried, rooibos tea? But that's a popular tea type. Some people like it, some people don't. So I went down to Adagio Teas, and they have samples. And this is a sample packet. This is a sample packet. This is a regular packet. This is like 3 ounces, and this is, looks like not even 1 ounce, like 0.8 ounces. So just to give you an idea, this will give you about 5 servings. I don't know what this is. A lot, a lot. And what I liked about them was that I could try samples of things that sounded good. Like this one is spiced apple chai. I got Foxtrot was a popular kind of one that was recommended. So different ones, Always Nuts. And I think Always Nuts was, they also have on their website. It's a great website. If you like Dave's Teas, which I've heard of Dave's before, I think it's David's Teas. David's Teas, if you like David's Teas, if you like this flavor from David's, because I think David's is much more expensive, you might like this one. So there was a comparison to a David's tea. That was this one, Spiced Blood Orange, on and on. I got a number. Honey Bush Banana Nut, like banana nut tea. This sounds pretty great. So I got these for samples to see what am I going to like. And then I got this big one because I did say that I like that lemon pound cake from Tazo's. So this is lemon meringue green tea. And there's also health benefits to tea, as I know, but I've learned more about the health benefits of drinking tea. So guess what? There's some good teas out there. I was like surprised. I'm like, maybe I was doing it all wrong. What I didn't know as I went down this rabbit hole, let me know if you're a tea drinker. This is probably, you're like, duh. But if you're not a tea drinker like me, I didn't realize there are certain teas that you don't want to put hot boiling water on. You got to let it wait to it gets to like 150 degrees instead of 212 degrees. Some you don't want to steep more than 3 minutes. Some you can let steep for 5 minutes. Like for me, everything was 5 minutes or 7 minutes hot water. And that is why I was getting some of that bitter taste in some of the teas I was trying beforehand. So what I do love also about Adagio's teas is they'll tell you, what the temperature of the water should be and for how long you should steep it. And so far, it works. So I did end up getting this. This is from Amazon. This is the OXO brand, but I guess this is a tea infuser. So I will drop my tea in there and just put this into my teacup. It also has a cover. So the particular coffee cup, I'll show it in a little clip here, fits this perfectly, and this cover covers it up. So while it's sitting for 5 minutes, it's not getting cold. And last but not least thing that I liked about Adagio tea, let me know if you've tried them, is in the box that I ordered, they sent me a whole box. So there's 7 teas, I believe 7 in here, a week's worth of samples. And so this one is for March 23rd, the week of March 23rd. So I've used all but one. I'll drink this tonight. This is green Robois Citron. And this one doesn't have any caffeine, so I'll drink it tonight. Some had caffeine, some didn't. And they have a community on there that's called, Community. Get it like TEA instead of TY at the end. But they also have a monthly box, and this was like a week's worth from their monthly box. And what's fun that they do is every day there's like a calendar of what's today's tea. And so people will drink it along with everyone else in the community and then give their thoughts on the tea. And it'll give you directions on how long it should steep for and at what temperature and all that. So yes, tea is fussy is what I found. It is fussy, but it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So I am I'm never going to give up coffee. I'll never say never, right? But I don't think I'll ever give up coffee. But now I have something warm and different to drink with some benefits to it that I wasn't used to. And I'm glad I went down this rabbit hole. Otherwise, I thought I would forever hate tea. And some of these are really good. Like I had a citrus mate, I think, the other day, and I really like that one. So anyway, I'm happy that they do samples and things like that. So that is a favorite. And I have one more. I know this is the longest video ever. But since I'm down here in the kitchen, I'm like, oh, I forgot to talk about this. I've never taken melatonin before. I know, who am I? I'm 53 years old. And now in my, time of my life, sleeping, there is no such thing as a good night's sleep. It's hot, cold. It's flipping the comforter off on. I'm turning like a rotisserie chicken in the middle of the night. It's like comfortable and then I'm not comfortable. And then so anyway, I wake up tired a lot and I'm like, maybe I should try some melatonin. Some of the cousins that were visiting from Costa Rica, I mentioned in some other video, they took some melatonin one night when we were in Tahoe. And I'm like, I've never done that. I know a lot of people swear by it. So I do order from Hum Nutrition. I do get several vitamins from them. I ordered their Beauty Z's. This helps fall asleep faster and promote restful sleep. I've only tried this twice. So take this, maybe I shouldn't call this a favorite, but I was shocked that the first night, and it's probably because I've never done it before that my body was really receptive to it. But the first night, I got the best sleep ever. My little Garmin watch here gave me a sleep score of 85. That's the highest I've ever gotten. And I slept fantastic. I didn't wake up groggy because I did sleep for like 7.5, 8 hours. Yeah. So I don't want to take this every night because my worry is that it probably should be used for, I think a lot of people use it, for jet lag or when they're traveling and their kind of sleep cycle's a little messed up. But on days where I'm tired, I don't know. I don't know. I was surprised, but I'm sure over time, if I take it more and more, maybe my body will become more accustomed to it and it won't have that same effect as it did the first time, or I'll need stronger. I don't know. But this is, melatonin and B6, 30 tablets in here. And it works. It works. So anyway, that's a little bit of my favorites or discoveries this month. All right, so here we are to the part of the video that I mentioned on something new I'll be adding. It's not anything crazy different, but I was brainstorming the other day, and sometimes tell me if this happens to you, ideas pop up in your head when you're not focusing on things, when you're showering in the bathroom, out for a walk. And so, this popped in my head and I'm calling it Scent Diaries. That if you have a better name, let me know, but I'm kind of calling it Scent Diaries. I mentioned this in my Facebook group a few days ago. If you're not a part of my Facebook group and want to be, that will be linked into the description. That will be linked in the description box as well. And come join us. But Scent Diaries is what I'm calling it. The idea is that I know I do weekly warm reviews of everything that I warmed, but it would be kind of fun, I think. This is why it's, an idea that I came up with, do a wrap up. So different than this video. This is just kind of life and, check-in and all of that. But different from this video being a monthly wrap up of my favorites for the month, and maybe one that disappointed me, or maybe I won't have any, but I'm sure there's probably one scent at least in the month that was like, didn't like it for whatever reason. And then, so it's kind of like highlights of the month and lowlights in what I warm. So I'm calling it Scent Diaries because I decided to take this notebook from the Archer and Olive subscription box. So it's like, for me, like this great size. And one thing about that box is I love stationery. I love notebooks, but you get these notebooks and you're like, what am I going to use that one with? But this is so pretty. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's just such a pretty notebook. Their notebooks are beautiful. It's got butterflies and and things, and it's almost like this, not quite velvety, but it's this cloth. So, and it's just this nice size. This is, let me see. I'm trying to think. Okay, if I were to show you this paper here, this is an 8.5 by 11. So you could see, you know, the size of that notebook. So anyway, I figured I would use this as my wax diary, my wax journal, and write down my favorites or what I thought. I'm probably not going to journal every scent that I warmed because I don't want this to turn into work. But I'm sure that every week I will have these highlights of what I warmed and some notes of what I thought of, especially my favorites. So if you're interested in following along and doing this, I would love for you to join me in this little experiment. And you know, let's share at the end of the month all your favorites. What were your favorites? Maybe you had one standout, or maybe it's too hard to pick one and you have several loves, or maybe this is your favorite fruity scent or your favorite, you know, floral scent or whatever. I mean, I keep it loose because, you know, I don't want anything to be so rigid and strict. But the whole idea is that you will remember some of your favorites. These would be things that you'd want to remember anyway, right? Maybe it's a repurchase that you want, or something that you will ask if it's a vendor wax, for example, and they're having an upcoming pre-order. This would be one that when they ask you, what do you guys want to see, that you would take something in here and say, I want that again. So the idea is to jot it down in a notebook. I just happen to have this pretty one, but jot it down somewhere. And then at the end of the month, we'll talk about kind of what worked for us and what didn't work for us, and what were our favorites. And I'm thinking that it will be the monthly live. I mentioned this last month that I wanted a way to have like a consistent live, like a coffee chat with Martha kind of thing. And I think this would be a nice one because it could be very interactive. I'll share, you know, some of my favorites and what did you guys capture as favorites. And it's I like crowdsourcing. I like getting like everyone's ideas and you know, maybe there'll be scents to stay away from, and maybe scents that could be something I don't love and someone else does. And part of writing it down also is I will not remember. So I need to write it down. And I also hope to be good about writing what is it about it that I didn't like, if it was a scent that I didn't like, because scents are super subjective. And you know, what somebody might say smells like grandma's attic and kind of musty, someone else may have nostalgic feelings about that kind of scent. So anyway, that is what I want to do. So I will, as we get closer to the end of the month, we'll talk about reminding you all and set up some time for a live to do that. And I think that would be a lot of fun. So I hope you'll join me in this Scent Diaries wax journey. And, you know, we can share our loves and our love of wax. So that is it. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I need to chat before I let you go? Let me know what your favorites were now. If you have some from last month, I can't remember. So that's why I have a journal for next month. I can't remember what my favorites were, but I have plenty of wax that I'm going to be enjoying this month for sure. But yeah, so next month we'll talk more about hauls, updates, what about, and how I'm doing with my numbers. I will say there's a couple of things coming up. I am also going to have a club edit video kind of ready to go. So on my channel, if you don't have notifications on, consider doing that, because I do have a Scentsy club edit coming up. I do want to do, if time permits, this month or next month, kind of the fragrances that I plan to use, or my favorite vanillas or something like that. And another idea, when I was like thinking, I don't know, my brain was on fire. I'm going to do a video continuing my vendor wax series a little bit on what I would do differently if I was starting to buy wax today. Kind of what would I tell my old self? So some lessons learned since I've been on this journey. So that, I haven't filmed it yet, but I do plan to do that. I will probably have a Scentsy haul. I think I'll have a Scentsy club coming. A little in and out one, very small. And last but not least, there was one other thing that I was going to say. And I already forgot. See, my brain. I have to write things down. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. It's like, thank you to all of you who watch my videos. It means the world to me. It keeps me going. It gets me motivated. It just makes me feel good. So thank you so much. And also, if you have purchased from me on my Sunsea website, I really, really appreciate it. I don't always send out like an email or a thank you right away. Sometimes I don't, especially for weeks past, and I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. But I just really, really appreciate it so, so much. Those that have purchased from me in the past or consider purchasing from me really means a lot as well. So thank you for everything, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.